The cop stopped him. He had 3 hands in his pocket. Only 2 of them were his. So you have to understand that when you go through a couple decades in this job, it tends to jade you. And the way to get through it sometimes is through using sick humor. But then later in life, you kind of realize like there's a human being attached to some of this stuff. And no pun intended there. And that you got to pay them respect. So let's see if I can get through this story without making some gruesome cop tasteless joke. It's not the easiest thing in the world for me, but this all happened in Colorado. They found, the cops stopped this guy. They found a severed hand in this guy's pocket. So just imagine 2 cops on a patrol. They stop a guy, they pat him down. Again, they find an extra hand. It's the kind of story that shakes an entire community. But it went a little bit farther than that. Like you obviously start the questioning of why Mr. Solomon Martinez, a 27-year-old security guard, why would you possibly have Renee Portillos' hand in your pocket when she's not attached to it? She was a 47-year-old woman. Her life obviously ended in a very tragic and brutal way. And these kinds of cases like shake an entire community because it's odd and bizarre behavior. But Portillos was reported missing back in December of 2022, and they found her body. And once they found it, they quickly realized obviously something wasn't right. So not only was her body discovered, but Martinez was arrested with her severed hand in his coat pocket. All right, so you might think this is easily solved. And it kind of was. I mean, there's plenty of DNA to connect the two. But there's more to an investigation than just DNA. The investigator, they have to piece things together like phone records. They showed Martinez's movement and, his location data, and it kind of placed him near where Portillos' body was found. But the important thing is there was DNA evidence. It wasn't just that he stumbled across this woman and grabbed her hand. Like they were able to determine that he actually committed the crime. And in fact, during his time in jail, he confessed to his mother over the jail phone. You would be shocked at the things that people say over those jail phones. They know they're being recorded, but they also know the volume, and they never think that we're listening to their specific call. But it really does kind of depend on the type of case they're in for, or if there's somebody specifically listening, for stuff like this. And this guy apparently made this confession to his mom that, he killed this poor woman. So the defense obviously argued, trying to keep this guy out of prison, that they said that he had actually, they argued that the victim shot herself. They argued that she was under the influence of fentanyl at the time, and that impaired her judgment, which it would tend to do. But obviously the evidence didn't support that claim. So as a result, after like a 14-day trial, he was convicted on several charges, including first-degree murder, tampering with a deceased human body, and the abuse of a corpse. So I don't know if there are 2 separate charges or if that's the same thing. But he ended up thankfully getting life in prison without the possibility of parole. Look, and this is disturbing for a bunch of different reasons. It's not just the violence, but the coldness, the callousness of carrying around part of the victim. And then think of the cops that stopped him and found that stuff. It's just a reminder that even like in the most safest, tight-knit communities, like that darkness kind of hides in plain sight. I really want to know what you think. I really don't want to disparage the victim, but I'm still fighting the urge because I hope Alanis Morissette didn't play at his sentencing. If you want to hear more cases like this where the truth is stranger than fiction, please hit the follow button. This is Drew from Drew Crime Official. This is where justice meets the unfiltered truth by somebody who's been there.